We've got some fresh images of 3I Atlas, a third ever interstellar object observed from Earth, currently racing through our solar system. Now, astronomers have captured that moment live, streaming in real time around the globe of them watching all of this. Take a look at this.
Oh.
Oh, nice.
Yes, look at that bad boy.
This is a raw image. So this is not even this is just directly from the telescope right now.
You're looking at a piece of what would have become a planet in another star system. This is a building block from somebody else's home.
This is a building block from somebody else's home. I mean, hard not to get stoked about that. Even though it doesn't look like much, it means a lot, and all eyes are on that developing tail. Or maybe it's not a tail, but 3I Atlas is moving closer to the sun. There's still so much we don't know. And with the sun's glare taking over, our window to see this interstellar visitor from Earth is closing fast. Meanwhile, Mars is about to get a front row seat coming up on the cosmic calendar, October 3rd. That is when 3I Atlas swings by the big red planet and NASA's Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter. That could give us our best look yet. Harvard astronomer Avi Loeb calls it a blind date with deep space. And Professor Loeb joins us now. Professor, always great to see you. Thanks so much for being with us. Just finished your latest essay. It looks like it was posted 3 hours ago. I got to just jump in with the possible size of this thing, 20 to 40 kilometer diameter. That's massive. That is bigger than, city size, maybe San Francisco or something. And then you are talking with your astronomer buddies about the possibility that this is a megastructure, like an artificial megastructure. Let's start with the possible sci-fi of it all.
Well, thanks for having me. The biggest question is whether the reflection of sunlight is coming from a solid surface, in which case, as you pointed out, it could be as big as 40 kilometers, twice as big as Manhattan Island, or maybe a dense cloud of dust. Now, until recently, we haven't seen dust being pushed back behind the object by the solar radiation pressure. And so one had to conclude that perhaps we are seeing a giant object. But a rock that big is 1 million times more massive than the previous interstellar objects that we've seen, Oumuamua and Borisov. And that is quite unlikely. So either this is actually a dense cloud of dust that somehow did not produce until recently a tail, or this is not a rock. And in that case, maybe it's targeting the inner solar system. We know that the trajectory is very well aligned with the planets, and it will come very close, as you pointed out, to Mars, and later in March 2026 to Jupiter. And so the fundamental question, as far as I'm concerned, is what is the object? How big is it? And with the camera HiRISE that is on board the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter, we should be able to resolve the object with a pixel size of 30 kilometers. That will be our best chance in the immediate future to tell what is it.
Something strange, something uninvited has slipped into our celestial backyard. It's neither a planet nor an asteroid. This is 3I Atlas, a visitor from far beyond our solar system. Astronomers first spotted an interstellar object only a few years ago with Oumuamua in 2017. Then came 2I Borisov in 2019, discovered by Crimean amateur astronomer Gennady Borisov. And now, for the third time in human history, another mysterious traveler has arrived, moving closer at nearly 37 miles per second. That's about 210,000 kilometers per hour. This is 3I Atlas. The 3I Atlas was first spotted on the 1st of July 2025 by ATLAS, an abbreviation of the term Asteroid Terrestrial Impact Last Alert System. ATLAS is a NASA-funded network of telescopes with eyes in Hawaii, Chile, and South Africa.
3I Atlas was discovered on July 1st by the NASA-funded ATLAS survey. It was discovered using their telescope at Rio Hurtado in Chile, and it was first detected as a speck of light moving relative to background stars.
Astronomers estimate that the 3I Atlas could be 3 billion years older than our 4.5 billion year old solar system, making it the oldest interstellar object ever observed by humans. Although NASA projects 3I Atlas will keep a distance of more than 150 million miles from Earth, its size alone is enough to raise eyebrows.
In the case of 3I Atlas, as soon as it was discovered, I estimated its expected size based on the reflectance of sunlight. And it looked as if it's 20 kilometers, which is huge. It's as big as Manhattan Island and twice as big as the asteroid that killed the dinosaurs 66 million years ago. And such a big object is, untenable if it's a rock, because there is not enough material in interstellar space to produce such a giant rock every decade. You would expect such a rock to arrive.
So we're going to lose the Earth perspective, but we're going to get a perspective from some of the imagery and imagers that we have around Mars or on Mars. That's fascinating stuff. But I got to stop you, rewind you a little bit. Getting back to the tail. Is the tail now pointing in the right direction? Because for a while there, it seemed like the tail was pointing towards the sun, right?
Right. And in fact, I'm now working on a paper trying to understand that. This is the first time something like that is observed, where there is a glow ahead of the object towards the sun. And now, as it approached closer to the sun, there seemed to be some teardrop shape to the plume of gas and dust around it. And that may be just the focusing of whatever is scattering sunlight around it by the solar wind or by the solar radiation pressure. We don't know exactly what is causing it. As it comes closer to the sun, we will get much better information, because, interrogation tactics often uses stressful environment to get a confession. And in this case, we might get a confession from this visitor as to the nature of it and where it came from. And it's all exciting. Science can be fun as long as you open your mind to something new. And we definitely know there are new things in this context, because, for example, we detected nickel without iron in some recent data around the object, and that the only way you get that usually is from industrial production of nickel alloys. And so there are many open questions. The plume of gas around it is mostly carbon dioxide, 95% by mass, based on the Webb telescope data, and only 5% by mass, water vapor. So, we don't fully understand what's going on there.
And Professor, I know very early on, before we had a little bit more fidelity here, I asked you, and you're like, it's probably a comet. Is it becoming less and less likely of a comet here in your eyes?
For now, I rank it 4 on the scale that I define, that is called the Loeb scale, where 0 is a natural object and 10 is a technological object. But just a couple of hours ago, I heard from 2 car racers in NASCAR that want to put my image on their car because of 3I Atlas. Apparently, the race is in October, and just around the time when this object will come closest to the sun. And it's becoming a very fashionable subject, even for sport aficionados.
Oh, wow. So that image on a very fast car going Godspeed through the universe, that is very interesting. A 4 on the Loeb scale. We will be checking back with you to see if that shifts at all as time progresses here.